Consider for a moment that every day life happens out on the ocean. Whales breathe. Sea otters twist through the surf. Eagles watch carefully for the shimmer of fish. And in the woods which overlook the waves, ravens beckon you to follow them. This all happens all the time. The ocean moves and lives, whether or not we are there to see it. But I, for one, if luck allows, would like to be there to see it. Hello, I'm Maya, and together with my husband Aladino, we are about to go sailing to some beautiful places. I'd say that Aladino and I are pretty typical for sailors in the sense that we are very bad at planning in advance, or perhaps put more positively, we are very good at living in the moment. But it really does all depend on the wind and the currents and the tide. We can't say exactly where we're going to be on some specific date far into the future. But of course, when you tell people that you are about to go sailing, the first question that people ask is, so, where are you headed? And we usually find it so hard to answer this question. I guess to me, the whole point of a sailboat is that it can go anywhere. The ocean connects us to the rest of the world. We can head up the east side of an island or the west side. We can sail south to avoid a storm or head north just because we heard there's something worth seeing up there. Literally, even to get from point A to point B on a sailboat often involves zigzagging. But this year, maybe for the first time ever, we actually have a proper answer. You will not hear me say this very often, but here's the plan. We are currently here near Vancouver, and we want to get all the way down here to Mexico. But the time to sail down to Mexico is late summer, early fall, sort of September region. And it is currently very early summer / late spring. And so we've got a bunch of time to kill before we head south. So we have decided to head north, all the way up the Inside Passage to Prince Rupert, which is about as far as you can get on the coast of British Columbia before it turns into Alaska. North. That means we've got to tackle nearly the entire west coast of Canada, from Vancouver to Prince Rupert, from the Fraser to the Skeena. This will take us along some of the most remote and wild coastline in the world, rivaled in its isolation and ruggedness only by Greenland, Antarctica, parts of Patagonia, Alaska. This is a place of endless wild. Most of the coast is completely inaccessible by road. There are very few people. All three of us, me, Aladino, and the boat, have to be prepared. Fortunately, we have been preparing for quite a few years now. This all began on a dirty expanse of concrete next to a big, muddy river. We've got a love-hate relationship with this place. I mean, it's a boatyard, it's useful, it's necessary, but it's also not exactly what we had in mind when we bought this boat to sail around the world.
This is so exciting. Nice to see the actual dimensions, hey? The snooze under the stars.
It feels huge. This is Magic Carpet 2, although she was named Tosh when we bought her 6 years ago. She cost $11,000, which was pretty much all of our savings at the time. She was also in extremely bad condition. This is the bilge. We knew she needed work, but as so often happens with boat refits, it ended up being a lot more work than we thought.
Let's see how you do under pressure. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey.
There's moisture again.
And all of a sudden, water starts spurting out at me. I cannot believe that we're still finding crap like this.
Yep.
You happy, Deanie?
Well, it's not quite like we're in the water, but yeah. Just a step closer. One step at a time.
Well, it's kind of cool to see the sky again. Once things started getting a bit better, as in the boat was actually waterproof, we would launch in the summer to keep the stoke alive and test things out, and then return to the boatyard for the winter to keep working. But on this third launch, Magic Carpet 2 might be finally, and I hesitate to say this and jinx it, but she might be finally ready.
We have an appointment with the crane! Yay! 1 week to go! More! More weight on the boat and room for more storage and more things.
It looks good. You know what else looks good?
The lights.
The interior looked so special before, but with the added lighting, what a stunner, Dean.
Our through holes are bonded now. That's probably also something you would like to mention, right?
Absolutely, that was top of my mind.
Your sailboat going in the water?
For people who seem to launch our boat so often, we sure don't like it.
One of those special moments when you're caffeinated without caffeine. It's called adrenaline. Why though? I am confident in my work. I'm not so confident with the work of others. As some of you might know, I got to my first boat because it dropped from a crane. Hint, hint. But yeah, no, that only happens once in a lifetime. So I'm already done with that.
Here comes the noise.
Oh, I hate that beeping. We're floating! Yay! Where she's supposed to be. Now the anxieties fall away.
I think sailing is really different from a lot of outdoor sports because the boat is our adventure mobile. It's like our base camp, so to speak, but it's also our home. So we're taking it to these rugged places, we're weathering storms, but we're not going home to have a hot shower after the trip. Like, this is it. So we had to put a lot of thought into making this boat functional on several different levels. First, of course, as a sailing machine, but also as this haven that's going to keep us warm and dry in the middle of nearly any conditions that the sea might throw at us. So there's grab rails placed all around the boat for when things get a bit shaky. We have a water maker, which converts salt water into fresh water. There's a fridge, although not a freezer. We can't have it all. Everything has to be battened down. So like, the drawers can't just open if the boat suddenly tilts sideways. There's sort of this trick where you have to lift them up and then out. And of course, we have enough storage for months worth of food. Are you filming this?
Yep.
The mad pack rat putting away her stores. Well, I mean, I normally try to film extremely beautiful scenes for these videos, but I just spent $1,000 at Costco, so there is nothing beautiful about this in any sense of the term. But I'll be glad I did it. It hurt now, but as soon as we go further north, I know from experience from last season, like, there's just so little opportunities to buy food, and what there is so much more expensive, so
Totally.
I will be glad.
Well, and I'm gonna try to complement it with catching a lot of fish.
Great. Then we are good to go. A strong southerly pushed us northwards. The adventure began.
Spring has met this west coast town, and once again we're waterbound. It's good to feel the waves beneath our feet. For many years we laid her down and built her back up from the ground. Day by day we make our destiny. There's nowhere that I'd rather be. The mighty phrase of sailor sea. Won't you sail away with me again? There's so much left for you and me in this canvas flying in the breeze. Tell me that this journey has no end.
We've had quite a day. It's a little gusty, a few squalls passed by, so that's why I'm wet out here. But there's a good thing to rain, and that is the rainbow afterwards. It's like the beginning of the rainbow, right at water level. Like, look at it now. That is so cool.
If the boat is uncomfortable, then this trip isn't going to be sustainable. We really see this as a years-long expedition. You know, this first part of going north, this is the first chapter in what's going to be a very long voyage. So the boat has to be set up properly to take care of our physical beings, of course. But beyond that, I think there's even more that a boat has to account for. You know, we're both real suckers for beauty. And I think you kind of have to be to live this life. Like, what are we doing all this for, if not in the pursuit of beauty in some way? And of course, like, what is beauty? That can be subjective, but I do think there's a sort of universal beauty in the sea. In an open sky, and in the places that people have left alone. So we wanted this boat to reflect some of the beauty that we're out here looking for. You know, we sourced wood locally as much as possible, like the chart table is from a tree that blew down in a friend's yard. Everything that we have on board, every item, has a story, has to be satisfying to the soul, has to be beautiful in the most whole and complete sense of that term. The next day, the weather cleared. The winds curved around the islands, constantly changing direction and strength, so that in the course of a single day we went upwind, downwind, full sails out, sails reefed in, and everything in between. We adjusted the sails and we felt free. Free of that concrete boatyard, free of the city, free to sail north as the winds allowed. And we didn't even mind the wind shifts, because we knew that pretty soon the sails would have to come down completely. The maze of the Discovery Islands is usually navigated under power. The Discoveries are a dense archipelago. Massive tidal exchanges sweep through these narrow channels on 6-hour intervals, which leads to dangerous rapids and whirlpools. To pass safely, timing is everything. We can only transit rapids at slack tide, which is the moment when the tide changes direction and the currents are calm for just a few minutes.
Right now we are leaving the Octopus Islands and we're going through a new rapid exchange, tidal exchange. So this is Okisolo Channel. So funny enough, when you go northbound through here, you encounter the upper rapids first and then the lower rapids. We're going through the upper rapids right now. It's a little turbulent, but we're doing very well. And it's just always a little more stressful when it's the first time you go through a pass and you get to learn its deflection points and what way it actually wants to flow and push you. But so far, so good. The northwesterlies are dying down and actually it's overcast, and that is because today it is switching to southerly breeze, which is exactly what we want. Right now the current's coming against us a little bit, but that's because as we pass the lower rapids, it's past slack and the currents will turn with us. And then we have about a 6-hour run where wind and current will be with us in the Johnstone Strait, which should be the ideal way to transit through. This is quite a notorious strait. Usually you're just beating up this channel, and if it's wind against current, then that is very unpleasant. So this now is the first time we actually get to see an excellent weather window, when the weather is actually turning from northerlies to southerlies.
Tiny bit of current pushing us along.
It's pretty epic to go down the Johnstone Strait with these not so normal conditions, southerlies and current with us. So we're constantly over hull speed. We're doing between 8 and 9 knots. And this boat just feels so powerful when there is such a bow wave. Ooh, look at that. Sheesh. It's pretty epic.
I don't think it would be possible to blast up the Johnstone Strait faster than we did on this trip. Everything was in our favor, and boy was it cool to feel the rush of the boat, the power in the sails speeding north, pushed onwards by the wind and the tide. 2 days from the Octopus Islands to Alert Bay, where we pulled into the harbor, exhausted and delighted. Alert Bay was once a major hub on this coast. It's a bit quieter now, but still a beautiful seaside town. And also home to our friends Allison and James, who we visited and shared some excellent meals with. We lingered longer than we thought we would. We had one of the fastest runs up the Johnstone Strait that I think it's possible to have, but we're paying for it now. That was a week ago, and the northwesterlies have been back ever since then. We are in Alert Bay, and don't get me wrong, having the most wonderful time. But we're starting to get a little restless to go to round Cape Caution. That's the next big part of this trip. It's open to the Pacific Ocean, unlike the rest of the Inside Passage, which is sort of protected by islands, and you don't really feel that big Pacific movement. Cape Caution, you do, and so because of that, you have to time it so that you don't have too rough of a crossing. Of course, it would also be great to sail it, and since we're heading north, these northwesterlies aren't exactly boding well for that. But at some point here, you know, summer does have prevailing northwesterlies, so we're just going to have to bite the bullet and go. We're going to launch off from the dock today, nose our way up a little further north. I don't think we're rounding the Cape today, but at least get a little closer, suss out the vibe, as it were, and see when we can finally make the jump. Hey, Aladino. What time is it?
6.
How do you feel about that?
It's not my time of day. And the comment of mornings are actually beautiful was almost gonna slip out, but I don't want such things recorded. But yeah, the sacrifices. Unfortunately, we missed last night's full moon because we went to bed early. It was the second full moon of May. Today is June 1st, and we're about to round Cape Caution. That's why we are being very cautious, and we go early in the morning before the northwesterlies really pipe,
and also the current should still be with us.
Cape Caution is a turning point. We're leaving behind Vancouver Island with all of its people and roads and communities. This is where the wild really begins. There are very few communities on the Central Coast, all of them boat access only, all of them spread apart by days of travel. Help isn't right around the corner anymore. Now, all three of us rely on each other.
We have successfully rounded Cape Caution. It was uneventful. So right now we're in Fitzhugh Sound and we're leaving Calvert Island behind us.
Now we speed north, we rush through the water. That evening, we anchored just before sunset. So, everything's so weird when I take these off. We just got up to Namu, which is an abandoned, I think it was a cannery and surrounding town up on the Central Coast. We made really good time today. We've actually been on the go for 14 hours. We left at 6 and it is now past 8. I don't necessarily love the fact that we're anchored right next to Namu, to be totally honest. This place kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies, and it's just, I mean, it's sad, really, is what it is, just this decaying town. But there are all these birds, little birds that are flying around and singing, and that's really nice to listen to. Just the sounds of the water on the hull. It's warm, and it was not warm in the Broughton's, so we really didn't want to be outside in the evening, but now it's so nice to just sit here. It's kind of fitting, I guess, that our first stop after leaving Vancouver Island to our stern is a ghost town, as if to say, you're alone now. You've entered a new phase of the journey, where the only other sounds are from the birds and the movement of water. Another early start. Breakfast in front of the abandoned cannery, and then we were off.
Won't you take a ride with me on the Road Dog Express? Well, living ain't easy, but life's the best. Put your troubles behind, lay your worries to rest on the Road Dog Express.
We're just passing Bella Bella. I've never been to Bella Bella, and I guess I still haven't been because we're not actually stopping. It's midday, we're making miles, we're heading north.
You wanna start out sunny, yeah, way down south.
One day, several years down the road, Aladino and I will probably want to put down roots somewhere a little more solid than the rolling deck of a sailboat. So as we sail, we keep that in the back of our minds. Where could home one day be? I find myself imagining what different places might be like. Perhaps here you could see whales breaching from your window. Perhaps the winter storms rattle the frames in your house and the bones in your body. Would you eventually stop hearing the plaintive cry of the whistle buoy in the fog? Do you ever stop being moved by the wildness of this landscape? And what to make of the fact that so many have tried but left? Butedale, like Namu, was a cannery town, long since abandoned and now actually for sale, one of very few freehold land parcels in this area. Beyond Butedale, more mountains and water. The coast seems endless. The immensity of it all, the space, the land, the water. It's hard to believe, even harder to convey on screen. In early summer, the days are long, even if gray, and we travel upwards of 10 hours every day, moving quickly.
So we are heading up the Grenville Channel, which is this really narrow cut, And when you just look at it on a chart, it looks like a narrow cut. And when you're actually here, you realize how 3D this place is. Like the mountains are just rising up on either side, and it's only going to get narrower up there, and the mountains continue to get taller. It's a really beautiful, beautiful spot. And I'm just so constantly struck by the ruggedness of this coastline. Just trees and rocks, and it just strikes me how lucky we are to be in a place like this. How few coastlines there probably are on Earth that are so untouched and beautiful.
I love this coast, just in case you couldn't tell. And not to be dramatic, but if something were to ever take this coast away, or change it unalterably, it would kind of feel like a piece of my own heart was getting dug out of my chest and shipped off overseas. Okay, maybe that was dramatic, but really my greatest hope is for more people to feel that way. At the root of all conservation, there has to be love, the desire to protect something that you care about. We're not completely rational beings. We act on emotion more than logic, even if we won't admit it. We protect what we love. And so I think the key is growing that love. I want everyone to know what we have here and how we can continue to love this coast and learn from those who have loved and lived here for generations and generations. Good conservation doesn't just mean hands off. It means hands on but tended with care, making a living, not a killing. Small ripples can become bigger, can travel far. This coast is a constant cycle of good news, bad news. Always driving the good stories are the people who love this place.
So we're in Low Inlet, which is just off Grenville Channel, and it is a stunning anchorage surrounded by mountains. So we had our dinner. We came in here around 6. We were pretty hungry. I went inside, cooked. And then we've just come out to kind of actually appreciate and look around at where we are. And at first, when I popped my head out of the hatch, I thought I was hallucinating. I was like, what is wrong with me? But I thought there was icebergs in the bay. And I was like, I know we're north, but we're not that far north. But it turns out that it's actually foam from the river, huge quantities of foam just floating gently through the bay. And for whatever reason, these weren't really here when we came in. They've just kind of drifted in. It was a little windier when we came in, so maybe they were breaking up more. But so funny, I really thought it was ice at first, and I was so confused.
Funny how time stretches like an elastic band. There were moments when this coast felt endless. Now it feels like it's all gone by in the blink of an eye. It's bittersweet to say that we are already close to our destination. Prince Rupert is a comfortable one night's travel away. I want time to slow down. I linger in the late, late evening light.
Good morning. We're leaving this spectacular place in glassy, calm conditions. The reflection of all the mountains in the water is just beautiful. Yeah. What the heck? This place is nuts. That night, we anchored in Chameleon Inlet, the last night on our journey north. What's the point of this all? Of spending years preparing the boat, of filling it full with canned goods, of setting out north just to turn back around again? There isn't really a logical answer, but I reckon this evening is as good an answer as any.
The next day, the wind switched, rain blew in. When the rain stopped, we rode the southerly all the way to the end.
I am so stoked. This is the last day of the trip. We're heading into Prince Rupert, and what a send-off. The southerly winds have piped up and we get to just bomb downwind straight into Prince Rupert. Oh, it's beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I don't think I can do that again. My fingers are freezing. It's a good day out here, but not a warm one.
Wow, look at this logistical hub of hustle and bustle. It makes me want to dock here and act all important and put all of our IKEA Tupperwares in a neatly organized pile or stack. Oh, look at it.
From Prince Rupert, you can follow the compass any direction you choose. North, south, west, and even east. It's one of very few coastal towns with road access, a highway that stretches into the interior of British Columbia.
Oh man, well, none of this has really gone to plan. We had an amazing sail into Prince Rupert downwind, and I was like, yes, like what an end to the journey. And I was like, I'm so excited to get off the boat and go for a walk. I can't wait to go for a walk. And then I was like looking up places to eat and drink in Prince Rupert. I saw there was a cool looking brewery right on the water. We're like, we're gonna go get beers and a pizza and walk around. Anyway, we came in, and this is on us, but we called every single harbor and they're all full. So no harbor for us, and there's no good anchorage in town, so we're headed across to a different anchorage. No beer, no pizza, no walk for us tonight. Well, no, there shall still be beer. I'll put some beer in the fridge. There you go.
We have to have our own beer. Oh no.
Welcome to Prince Rupert.
This is actually a nice cove. Russell Cove, we're just across. If we had a rib with an outboard, we'd zoom across, but I already rode 5 kilometers yesterday just to set prawn traps in different locations. No, this is fine by me. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I think this is
Should I open yours?
Sure, I've got one hand. I think this is a real example of it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah. Even though we've been talking about this destination ever since we started. But only because this is the beginning.
This is the beginning.
This is the beginning.
That's actually really it, isn't it?
South to the sun.
South to the sun.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, the end of the journey. From Vancouver to Prince Rupert, 18 days of travel, 575 nautical miles logged, just over 1,000 kilometers. And we missed so much, speeding northwards as we did, trying to resist the pull of all the inlets, islands, beaches that we never slowed down for. This coast deserves more than that. It's not just a place to transit, it's a place to linger, to be awed by its beauty, But that's what the journey south is for. A slower pace, a discovery of all the small places. Now we go south to the sun. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. It is by far the most time and effort and love and thought that I have put into any single video that we have published on YouTube. And if I may say so myself, I'm extremely proud of it. And I'm so grateful that you're here at the end of the episode. I know it's a big ask to watch such a long video on YouTube. So thank you. Coming up next, we're going south to the sun. We're going to produce a weekly series about our journey from the northern coast of British Columbia all the way down south to Mexico. It's a bit scary saying that because at the time of filming this, we are still in BC. We haven't made it down to Mexico. We just did this whole trip in June. It's currently July, so like the turnaround on this project has been insanely fast. So it's a bit scary saying that we're going somewhere before we've actually done it, because now we're kind of beholden to it and things happen when sailing. But pretty sure we're making it down to Mexico this winter. I don't know. The only reason for my hesitation is we're keeping an eye on this whole El Nino situation, and you know, we want to make sure that we're safe and the boat's safe and all of that. But that's the plan for now. And in any case, we can for sure say that we're going to have a beautiful season of sailing down the coast of British Columbia before it's time to cross the border into the States and sail down the west coast of the States into Mexico. If you enjoyed the scenery in this episode and you enjoy the scenery of British Columbia, I actually wrote a book over the winter about our voyages along the British Columbian coast last year. It's called The Northern Voyage. It is 280 pages of full color photos on every single page, hardcover. I tried to make this like a real kind of collector's item sort of book. It works as a coffee table book, but I also wanted it to be small enough to fit comfortably on a boat. So it's kind of that sweet spot in between big enough to feel special, small enough to fit on a boat. You can order one now, and my little brother Dylan is actually shipping them all out while we are out here sailing. So huge shout out to Dylan. If you order a book, he will package it up for you and send it your way. I also want to say a really big thank you to everybody who has supported this journey for the years that it has been ongoing. But yeah, almost every single week now for 8 years, we have brought you into our lives of sailing or boat building or motoring, as in the case of when we went through Europe via the canals. We've done so many adventures and worked on so many projects in Europe, in the United States, in Canada, and we're excited to expand a little farther afield this year. So thank you to everyone who has made it happen, particularly the names now appearing on screen, who always go above and beyond to make sure that Magic Carpet keeps being produced. A huge thank you to all of our patrons. Patreon is the reason why we can keep making these videos. We are incredibly proud to say that we are completely audience funded, which is why we don't have to interrupt these videos to read an ad to you. Yes, YouTube does place ads on the videos, I want to be clear. I'm talking about like those sponsored segments that you see in a lot of YouTube videos. We get emails about those every day. They can be quite lucrative, but I'm really proud to say that we've maintained control of our videos, of our creative output through audience funding on Patreon, and that means the world to us. So thank you for allowing us to take that path. If you would like to become a patron, there's a link in the video description, and as a thank you, we publish real-time updates on Patreon that are never published anywhere else. So if you want to know what's going on in real time, because these videos are obviously always delayed a little bit, Patreon is the place, and thank you for it. And thank you, all of you, for being here, for watching, for staying to the end. If you enjoyed this episode and perhaps you know somebody who is thinking of sailing the Inside Passage or just generally interested in sailing, send them this video. I think that a longer video like this is probably more likely to be influenced by word of mouth, because it can be kind of hard if you've never heard of our channel and you see like a long video on YouTube. It can be hard to click on that and commit to the time it takes. So yeah, share it with someone. That would really help us out. All right, with all that said, we will see you next week. Bye for now.